Oh, hey, let me see. Go to the view on YouTube's tubes of you. So let me see if I can. Let me see if I have a. Let me see what I got. I can put in there. So that was today. That was yesterday. Yesterday's got nothing for me. Yesterday got nothing for me. Mm-hmm. Yesterday's got nothing for me. All right, let me see if I can hit the button and do like a thing. And put in a picture there instead of this sunset. So I started court watching. I went to the court to watch yesterday. Yesterday. It's got nothing for me. I got a few more pictures from the last couple of days. But let me see if I can get this one to put it as a whatever they call it. So that's my ticket to ride. Got a ticket to ride. Save as, yeah. So it was 3-9. Let's see. That's what I'm trying to edit. I'll try to add a picture. Thumbnail. Let's see. All right. So here's the thumbnail. 3-9. $26. Yeah. My birds are mad. Dinner's cooking up, but it's not chicken. Dinner's cooking upstairs. Can you hear her? She's like, "Feed me, Daddy, feed me." But the kitchen is being used, so I can't. That'll be all right for like 5 minutes. And happy. You can hear happy squeaking. Yesterday has got nothing for me. All right, so I think I got it. Oh. All right, so I'm on the StreamYard. Let me see if I can click the button, turn the knob, hit the thing, tap it. I think the boy just got home. The thing, tap it. I think the boy just got home. Yeah. The thing. Yep. So I won't let that go on forever. So last couple days, I did some court watching. Okay. All right. Let me pause this. I got the bang. Okay, coming. Be up in a sec. How do I pause that? Can I just hit the pause button? Bark, 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 bark. You can hear my girls. Should I put the? I'll put the thing over there so it's easier to. It's closer to the girls. So you can hear them. Bark, bark. Bark, 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 bark. Bark, bark. Bark, bark. Yesterday, it's got nothing for me. Hey, yeah. Bark, 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 bark. All right, girls. There you go. See you in the morning. I got my cat toy. All right. Been a long day. Spent my morning in court yesterday morning and this morning. So today's January, February, March 9th. Yesterday morning. So it's daylight saving, which, because I don't pay attention to stuff like that, but the court does. Yesterday, oh shit. That's like the first thing I wrote. When I got there, I sat down, said, oh shit. Because I was thinking, how many other people don't pay attention to daylight saving? And it's not daylight savings. There's no plural. There's no S on the daylight saving time. There's no S. It's daylight saving time. And a couple times throughout there, they were pulling up what time did this happen, and it's like universal time or whatever they call it. It's like planet Earth time. Right? What time was it planet Earth time? And then they had to do all the math and go back to so what time was it local? So planet Earth, it was a certain time, and so they got all a little bit disheveled when it got into daylight saving time. So there was a few oh shit moments during the all right, so first oh shit moment was I thought it was just going to be motions yesterday. So I read it wrong. I checked the docket and I thought there was just going to be motions. So I wasn't expecting like a crowd. I was expecting like, a couple lawyers here and there. But oh shit, it was jury selection day. So, I go through all the security, and I think security might be higher when they have jury jury trials in that courthouse, because I got wanded, and they took the wand, and I got almost actually half naked. I said, "Whoa, really? You want me to? How much do you want me to take off, man?" And I'm holding my arms out, and I'm there waving the wand around. Spread your legs, son. I'm like, all right. Put your arms down by your side. All right, kid. We're gonna take this wand and we're gonna wave it all around you. I'm like, all right. I know you want to wand me. I'm not even sure exactly what's going on today. I saw 5E, and it said jury trial, and I thought that it was motions. I didn't know it was selection of the jury. So I go through the whole process. So where you got to park all the way down there, 1,000 yards out, you got to walk all the way uphill. And in the mornings lately, it's been cold. So you get up, you're cold. You know, you wake up. So you wake up in your bedroom and you go to take a shower. So everything's all warm. You get the warm blanket, take a warm shower. You get your hair all nice. And then you got to go walk through the cold. So once you get to security, I mean, I'm all right with going through security, but because it's cold, it's hot, it's cold. You're in the warm car, and then you're out in the cold, and then you go into a warm building, and your nose, your face starts leaking. And even though security knows you by now, I know the security guards, and they're very good at what they do. Still, you kind of look like you're on crack when you go from a warm to cold to warm, and then you got to walk up a hill. You look like you're on crack or cocaine, whatever it is. That's just the way it is. So you go through the security and you get into the elevator, and sometimes it takes a little while longer. So I do take the elevator. I mean, if I got there a little bit earlier, I would probably walk up the stairs, because it's a way to acclimate yourself and catch the smells and catch the sights, catch the sounds, get to feel the environment, because there's a lot of people. It's like a high school, but a rather large high school. Going into a courthouse such as Fairfax County. So eventually I get into the room, and I'm 3 minutes early. 3 minutes early, I get in there, and I'm able to take my jacket off. And of course, I put everything in my pockets, in my jacket. So all I have to do is throw my jacket into the x-ray machine in that little gray box that they have, and they can stick it through the thing. And then once I have all my things looked through, they rummage through it and they scan it all. All I have to do is get wanded. It's much easier that way. So I got nothing on me except for my suspenders, which has got a lot of metal on it, which is why they would like to wand me. And so I'm sitting there 3 minutes early, and take everything out of because I know that I'm going to leave in a couple hours, maybe even earlier, right? Because I get in there and I'm like, I feel like I may make up my mind early on this one. And I don't like to make my mind up early on most any case. But some sort of gut instinct makes me feel like I'm going to make up my mind early. So I take everything out of my pockets of my jacket and I fold up my jackets, all my leather, and I put everything in my pockets and my pants, my jeans, and I got my pocket watch, and I got my monocle, I got my readers, I got my pens, I got my notebook, everything that I have. I take it back out of my pockets and put it back on myself, because as soon as I leave there, I don't want to have everything in my pockets and in my leathers, because it's going to be 70 degrees when I leave there. It's weather said it's going to be 70 degrees. So I don't want to leave the courthouse having to wear 10, 15 pounds of leather with all kinds of stuff in it. I'd rather be unencumbered and just have the stuff, so it's all on myself. It's in my pockets, on myself, and not in my jacket. So I don't have to put my jacket back on and get all hot while I'm going back to my car before I have to go pay the exit fee. The parking garage was $7.50 today. So sometimes when you go in there, it's only $7.50. Sometimes it's $10. Sometimes it's $12.50. You never know until you stick the thing in there and the machine tells you how much you have to pay. And then you have to stick the credit card in there because you can't pay cash. They don't accept cash. You got to have a credit card, some form of debit, credit. You got to stick a card in there. You can't just put a $10 bill in there. So I get everything out of my pockets, and then I'm waiting for the judge, and the judge is a little bit late. What time did the judge get there? I wasn't too mad. The judge was a little bit late. But obviously something had to be happening behind the scene, because this is the bailiff. This judge has got his own bailiff. And this bailiff seems to have doesn't ask me any questions. This judge's bailiff doesn't ask me any questions. Some judges' bailiffs ask you questions. Are you a witness? Is the big one. I said, no, I'm not a witness. I'm just an observer. I'm just here to observe and see what all kinds of mean nastiness is going on that brought us all to this courtroom here today. All right, so yesterday's got nothing for me. So I get there early, and I didn't know it was jury selection day, and I was going through the motions, and then all of a sudden they said, "Here comes the jury." The courtroom was empty. I was sitting there. The courtroom was maybe 10 people, 5 lawyers, judge, bailiff, reporter, the mom, And the judge says, bring the jury in. And I was like, all right, well, bring the jury in. Okay, so I thought it was going to be already, I thought it was going to be, the jury was going to be already set. I thought it was just going to be people sitting there and they were already selected, detected, but no. 50 people started being escorted into the courtroom. One by one, they came in and they started filling the whole courtroom. First, they sat up in the jury selection panel. And then one by one, the pews, it's like a church. They started filling up the pews. 50 jurors. I was like, oh shit, I was not expecting this. So judge started reading them the riot act, and the lawyers started telling them things. We're going to ask you a whole bunch of questions, and you gotta answer honestly, because if we select you, we're going to look into you. And that's a thing. If the jurors don't answer honestly, and they look into you afterwards, you may run into a little bit of trouble. Jury tampering? I don't know. So they start asking this group of people. Now, this group of people, I did not feel like they were a selection of people that were this young person's peers. That's the immediate impression I got. They're not his peers. Let's say that I'm not going to get into that. I'm talking about jury selection. They were not his peers. That's the feeling that I got. So they started asking very intimate questions. How do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? Are you okay with this? Have you ever been through that? And people they're raising their hands. And they're telling their stories. Like, hey, I've done this, and this is, yeah. It's like, have you done this? And it's like, yeah, I've done that. And I'm like, man, you're telling this very intimate amount of detail to everybody in this open courtroom. And there's a court reporter. I don't know how they do jury court reporting, but I would assume that the court reporter is taking notes of the questions. And let's say juror 50. It's like, yeah. I would assume the court reporter would make a note. Juror 50, and of course the lawyers, all of the lawyers up there, they're making notes. They're making their notes about which juror said this about whatever they did. So it's not just the people in the court seem like normal people, normies. They were all selected to come in and try to be on a jury of his peers, which I don't believe they were a jury of his peers. He was a young He's young, 18-year-old, and I sat next to his mom. On jury selection day for a little while. And these people, I got a sense of people, and these people that were in the jury pool did not seem like his mom would have asked any one of these people to give judgment upon her child. I'm just saying. So that's jury selection. And I couldn't stay the whole day to find out who actually got selected to the jury one by one and all that, because I had to go to work, and so I got to stay until maybe about noon. So about 2 hours I was in the courtroom going through the jury selection. So apparently they got through the jury selection fairly quickly, and they did opening statements. Apparently both sides went through jury selection and opening statements on day one, Monday, March 9. So I thought about it a little bit. Evening, March 9, get home. I wrote a couple notes. So I was like, all right, let me check to see what happened. So I go in Tuesday, March 10 o'clock. They're a little bit late. Not too upsetting. Bailiff seems to be a good dude. But there were not a lot of law enforcement inside that courtroom for somebody who apparently was on was being charged with murder and on trial. So I kind of felt a little bit uneasy that there was no law enforcement in there, really. Yeah. One time a sheriff came in, stood by the back door, looked around, made sure no one used their telephones, but there was no one in there today. March 10. There was no one in there today like there was yesterday, but it was family. So Michael was the one who lost his life. And it was very emotional. I'm not going to go too far into the emotions, but it was very emotional. People had to leave the courtroom so they didn't sway the jury. I guess they were given instructions not to not to show emotions. So we had the medical examiner. Come on, lady medical examiner. Very matter of fact. I think I've seen her in other cases. I sit way far back, and I don't wear glasses, so I sort of listen, and I think she was in another I don't write their names down, nothing like that. So, but the medical examiner, and she started going through all the things, the toxicology and flipping through, and then they got to the the lawyers got to the pictures. Once they got to the pictures of the body, the decedent, that's when the emotions started rising. But I'm jaded. That's not my name. My name is not Jaded. But I'm examining the pictures, and they got them on 4 big screens. And before they even show the jury, the lawyers, each table, so I'm looking at like 4 different screens before they publish to the jury. Okay. And I'm like, holy shit, are they going to publish this to the jury? And then sure enough, they publish it to the jury. So I'm already formulating, as they're laying out how the injuries occurred before they publish it to the jury. And Michael was shot twice. Okay. The fatal shot was in the back. He got shot in the arm. Both shots were from behind. Shot in the back. And once that got explained to the jury, I thought to myself, this was not a justified shooting, a killing. This was not justified. All right, so in the back, you get shot in the back, that ain't justified. And it was pretty clear that the person on trial for the murder of young Michael was the shooter. You know why they were in this situation? Is because of weed. Weed. It was a weed. It's in testimony. They were buying street weed. And we have legal weed here in Virginia. Legal weed is a thing here in Virginia. You don't need to go buy weed on the street. You don't need to go buy weed on the street. You don't need to carry a gun to get weed on the street here in Virginia. We've got, what's the one place called? Beyond Hello. All you have to do is you got to pay $50 to some doctor. All you got to do is tell the doctor you got post-traumatic stress. And then you can get a legal weed card. And then you go into Beyond Hello. And then you can get much better weed. And you don't have to worry about fentanyl in your weed or any kind of poisons or toxins in your weed. What year was this? This was still we had legal weed here in this year. I made a note of that. We had legal weed. It was kind of new. No, that was a different case. We had legal weed. I made a note of it. We had legal weed here at that time. 2024, May 15th, 2024. I've been buying legal weed. I bought legal weed here in 2023. May 15th, 2024. So after I realized that the shooting was not justified, I'm like, all right, I don't need to hear anymore. If I'm on that jury, he's going to jail. He shot him in the back, shot him twice, shot him in the arm, shot him in the back while he was turned away from. So it's not like I'm approaching you and I get shot. It's like I'm running away from you and I get shot. Justified? Approaching you? Possibly. Okay. Running away from you? Get shot? No. So after I gathered all that information, I didn't need to hear anymore. So I went over to Judge Penny's courtroom. So I left 5E and I went to 5J. And Judge Penny, so Judge Penny was the one who just had the Banfield trial, and she was the judge was on the one with, what was his name? The actors. So it's a huge courtroom. There's no cameras, so it wasn't like I was intruding or anything. But so I went over there, went to check out what was going on over there, and so what was going on over in Judge Penny's courtroom? So it was a traffic accident. This guy, he's driving, going to pick up his wife. His wife's a nurse. She's working 12-hour shifts. And so he's going to go pick up his wife. He's like 2 minutes from the hospital to pick up his wife. And the bus hits him. And so they start getting into how did the bus get hit? How did you hit the bus? And he's like, I was just going to pick up my wife. And there is a very suspicious, very, very, very suspicious bus driver. Just saying, it's suspicious through my eyes, because there's a doctor that says, like 2 days before he got hit by this car, he got told by the bus driver got told by a doctor that he needed to have surgery. He needed to have get some nerve damage. He needed some surgery, and yeah, right before the incident happened, he was at a doctor's office and was told, you need some surgery to get your back taken care of, your nerve damage all looked after. And then he had been prescribed Percocets, from what I understand. And while I'm sitting there, I never heard anything about the bus driver getting tested for drugs, anything like that. But there was a doctor's report that they showed in evidence of the bus driver actually having gone to the doctor a couple days before, and he had another doctor's appointment for several days after. So he had got a report from the doctor and then had scheduled another appointment before this accident, to go see a doctor after this incident. So he went in, saw a doctor. Doctor said, okay, well, I'm going to schedule you for next week to come in and see me again. So in the meantime, he pulls out into traffic. This guy, he hits this guy, and he doesn't just hit him once, he hits him twice. And this guy doesn't even go after him. He doesn't go after the city. He doesn't go after the county. He doesn't go after the bus company. He doesn't go after anybody. He just got hit. You know, insurance took care of the car and everything. But the bus driver, in some point in the near future, decides he's going to try to go after this guy so he can get all his medical paid. So one thing they kept saying, the bus is a 40 foot long bus. And the guy who got hit was driving a little RAV4. And they showed in open court the accident through the cameras. And I was watching, and it looked like normal, and then all of a sudden, pow! He got smacked by the bus. And he's like, I was like, holy shit. And then he moved the bus moved the car over across the double yellow line because it was such a large bus and a small little SUV. And of course he pushed it. Elephant pushing a mouse. So as soon as I gathered all that information, I was like, that's all I need to hear. And the jury on that one, there was only seven jurors. So I was like, it looked like the bus driver, because he was wearing a collar. Oh my God. Bus driver was wearing a collar like he's a priest, but he's wearing like this suit. It did not look like a priest. Didn't look like a priest, but then he's wearing this priest collar. I'm like, come on, man. Just go after your own insurance company. Go after your own car insurance company if you want to get paid. And this was 6 years ago. 6 years. So it's taken 6 years to get to a courtroom. Anyway, that was my morning. pretty good day after that. But